The qualities they embodied, nurturing, protection, wisdom, beauty, and resilience, were highly valued in society. Mortal women also had important roles in religious practices. While the pharaoh was the chief priest, and many priests were men, women could and did serve in various priestly capacities, especially in the cults of female deities like Hathor. Priestesses held titles such as Chantress of Amun or Musician of Hathor, where their voices and musical talents were dedicated to the gods. Their participation in rituals, hymns, and offerings was essential for maintaining cosmic harmony. These women, adorned in fine linen and often with elaborate jewelry, would have been striking figures in temple processions. Their movements graceful, their voices melodic, adding to the sacred and captivating atmosphere. The god's wife of Amun was a particularly powerful title held by royal women during the New Kingdom. This role was not just ceremonial, it wielded significant political and economic influence. The god's wife was seen as a divine consort to the god Amun, participating in rituals that ensured the fertility of the land and the prosperity of Egypt. These women, through their sacred duties, became central figures of reverence, embodying divine grace and earthly authority. Their public appearances and ritual performances would have been grand spectacles, where their regal bearing and captivating presence commanded awe and devotion. The connection between women and the cycles of life and creation was also deeply embedded in religious thought. The inundation of the Nile, which brought fertility to the land, was often associated with divine female power. The very act of giving birth, bringing new life into the world, was seen as a sacred process, linking women directly to the creative forces of the universe. This perspective elevated the status of women, seeing them as essential conduits of life and renewal. Even in the afterlife, women were promised a vibrant existence. Tomb scenes often depict the deceased woman in her ideal form, youthful and beautiful, enjoying eternal banquets and serene landscapes. The promise of enduring charm and companionship in the realm of the dead underscores the deep cultural value placed on these qualities. In essence, the religious landscape of ancient Egypt was rich with powerful, graceful, and inspiring female figures, both divine and mortal. These women were not just admired for their appearance, they embodied fundamental principles of life, order, and spiritual connection. Their captivating presence, whether as a goddess guiding the cosmos or a priestess serving in a temple, resonated through every layer of Egyptian society, shaping its beliefs and its enduring appreciation for the enduring charm of women. Beyond the grand temples and the idealized images in art, what was daily life like for women in ancient Egypt? Surprisingly, it was a life marked with a level of freedom and respect that was quite advanced for the ancient world. While their primary roles were often centered around the home and family, Egyptian women had rights and opportunities that set them apart, contributing to a society where their presence was acknowledged and valued in many spheres. In ancient Egypt, the law did not discriminate between men and women. This meant women could own property, buy and sell goods, inherit wealth, and even make their own wills. They could initiate divorce and represent themselves in legal matters. This was a stark contrast to many other ancient civilizations, where women were considered the property of their fathers or husbands and had few, if any, independent legal rights. These legal freedoms gave Egyptian women a significant degree of autonomy and dignity, allowing them to participate actively in the economic and social life of their communities. Within the household, women were typically the managers. They oversaw the raising of children, the preparation of food, and the making of clothing. These were laborious tasks, but they were essential for the family's survival and well-being. The skills involved in these domestic arts were highly valued, and a woman who managed her household efficiently was greatly respected. While men often worked in fields, workshops, or administration, women's contributions at home were seen as equally vital. They created the comfortable and harmonious environment that supported the family. Yet, women's lives were not confined solely to the home. Many women, especially those from common families, also worked outside the domestic sphere. They might be farmers, assisting with planting and harvesting, or they might work in small businesses. We find evidence of women acting as market vendors, selling produce, pottery, or textiles. Some worked as musicians or dancers for entertainment, while others might be employed as domestic servants in larger estates. The range of occupations, while perhaps not as broad for men, still shows a dynamic participation in the economy. For women of higher social standing, their roles often involved managing large estates, supervising servants, and engaging in administrative tasks. Royal women, particularly queens and queen mothers, wielded immense influence, not just within the palace but across the entire kingdom. They could serve as regents for young pharaohs, hold high religious titles, and even rule as pharaohs themselves, as we'll discuss with figures like Hatshepsut. Their leadership was not just tolerated, it was often celebrated, demonstrating a cultural acceptance of powerful female figures. Marriage was a central institution in ancient Egypt, often arranged but not without the consent of the individuals involved. It was seen as a partnership, and mutual affection was highly valued. Love poems from ancient Egypt describe deep emotional connections between partners, highlighting the importance of companionship and shared life. A woman's role in marriage was to provide continuity for the family line, raise children, and manage the household, but also to be a cherished companion. The presence of children was very important, and women were celebrated for their ability to bring new life into the family. Childbirth was supported by midwives and often involved specific rituals to ensure a safe delivery. The raising of children, particularly during their early years, was primarily the mother's responsibility, and the bond between mother and child was deeply revered. Education for girls was often practical, focusing on household management, religious practices, and sometimes literacy if they were from elite families. While formal schooling was more common for boys, many noble girls were taught to read and write, allowing them to manage their estates and correspond independently. Hatshepsut initially served as regent for her young stepson, Thutmose III, but she soon took on the full titles and regalia of a king. Her reign was one of peace and prosperity, marked by ambitious building projects, most notably her magnificent mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahari. How did Hatshepsut project her power? She often had herself depicted in male attire, including the false beard and kilt worn by male pharaohs. However, her statues still often show a slender, graceful figure, and some inscriptions subtly emphasize her feminine qualities. She blended the traditional symbols of male authority with an underlying sense of her own unique, compelling presence. Her ability to navigate and challenge gender norms while maintaining a powerful and respected image is a testament to her intelligence and strength, making her a truly captivating historical figure. Then there is Nefertiti, whose name means "the beautiful one has come." She was the great royal wife of Akhenaten, pharaoh during the Amarna period, around 1353 to 36 BC. Nefertiti is perhaps best known for her iconic bust, a masterpiece of ancient art that perfectly captures her regal bearing and exquisite features. Her elongated neck, symmetrical face, and serene expression have made her a symbol of timeless beauty and grace. During Akhenaten's revolutionary reign, which focused on the worship of a single god, the Aten, Nefertiti was portrayed with unprecedented prominence. She appears alongside Akhenaten in many reliefs, often in poses of equal stature, performing religious rituals or riding in chariots. This suggests a partnership that was far more significant than that of typical queens. Her image was not just that of a consort, but a co-ruler, sharing in the divine authority. Her compelling image, conveying both power and profound allure, was central to the radical changes of the Amarna era. Skipping forward many centuries, we encounter Cleopatra VII, the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic kingdom, reigning from 51 to 30 BC. Cleopatra was not of purely Egyptian descent, but she fully embraced Egyptian traditions and presented herself as the living embodiment of the goddess Isis. She was renowned for her intelligence, charisma, and linguistic skills, able to speak several languages. While historical accounts vary on her physical beauty, all agree on her incredible charm and captivating personality. She famously captivated two of the most powerful Roman leaders, Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, using her wit, political acumen, and alluring presence to secure her position and protect her kingdom. Her dramatic life and ultimate downfall have made her one of the most enduring and fascinating figures in history, a queen whose compelling spirit continues to inspire countless stories and artworks. Other powerful women, though not pharaohs, also left their mark. Tayi, the great royal wife of Amenhotep III around 1386 to 1349 BC, was a formidable queen and a powerful influence at court. She was frequently depicted alongside her husband, sometimes on an equal scale, and even had her own temple. Her wisdom and political savvy were highly regarded, and her presence was clearly felt throughout the kingdom. Her portraits often show a mature woman with a strong, intelligent gaze, conveying a sense of authority and quiet power that was deeply admirable. Even female members of the pharaoh's family, such as the gods' wives of Amun in the New Kingdom, held significant religious and economic power. These women, often royal princesses, were not just ceremonial figures. They managed vast estates, commanded resources, and performed crucial religious rituals, acting as spiritual leaders for the nation. Their public appearances, adorned in the finest regalia, would have been magnificent spectacles, reinforcing their divine connection and their captivating authority. What these powerful women demonstrate is that in ancient Egypt, the ability to lead and govern was not exclusively a male domain. These queens and influential figures used their positions, their intelligence, and their carefully cultivated public images, blending traditional symbols of power with their inherent grace and charm to rule effectively and leave lasting legacies. Their stories remind us that the allure of women in ancient Egypt was not merely superficial. It was deeply intertwined with intelligence, authority, and an undeniable strength that shaped one of the world's greatest civilizations. The enduring fascination with these queens speaks to their compelling personalities and the unique place women carved out for themselves in the ancient world, proving that true power, combined with grace, creates an eternally captivating presence. While the grand queens and noble ladies often capture our imagination with their power and sophisticated presence, it is equally important to understand the lives of ordinary women in ancient Egypt. These women, far from the royal courts and monumental temples, were the very backbone of society, their contributions vital and their personal charm woven into the fabric of everyday existence. Their influence, though perhaps less documented in grand inscriptions, was profound in the homes, markets, and communities that thrived along the Nile. The typical ancient Egyptian woman held a place of considerable respect within her family. She was the mistress of her household, a manager of resources, and often a key participant in the family's economic endeavors. From a young age, girls were trained in the essential skills needed to run a home, which included not just cooking and cleaning, but also weaving linen, grinding grain, and caring for younger siblings. These were not seen as menial tasks, but as crucial responsibilities that ensured the well-being and prosperity of the family unit. A well-managed home was a testament to a woman's skill and dedication, earning her admiration from her husband and community. Motherhood was highly revered. Bearing and raising children was considered a blessing, and mothers were seen as life-givers, embodying fertility and nurturing. The process of childbirth, though often perilous, was celebrated, and women were supported by their families and communities during this significant time. Children, both sons and daughters, were cherished, and mothers played a primary role in their early education, instilling values and practical knowledge. The bond between a mother and her children was frequently depicted in art, showing tender moments that speak to the deep affection and importance of this relationship. Beyond domestic duties, many women actively participated in the economy. They could be found in agricultural fields helping with harvests, or in workshops spinning thread and weaving cloth. Women were often present in the bustling markets, selling surplus produce from their gardens, handcrafted goods, or even baked bread and beer, which they frequently produced at home. This again highlights a level of autonomy unusual for the time. Even in death, women maintained their individuality and status. They were often buried with their own personal possessions, including jewelry, cosmetic items, and mirrors, indicating that their personal identity and appearance were considered important even in the afterlife. The desire to maintain a captivating presence was not just for this life, but for eternity. The daily lives of ancient Egyptian women reveal a society that, while certainly patriarchal in many ways, afforded women remarkable independence and respect. Their contributions to family, economy, and religion were essential, and their presence was valued not just for their ability to bring forth life or manage a home, but also for their grace, intelligence, and captivating spirit that enriched the entire civilization. It's a testament to a culture that recognized and celebrated the profound impact of women in all facets of existence. The ancient Egyptians were renowned for their sophisticated sense of style and their meticulous approach to personal care. For women, beauty rituals and adornment were not just about vanity. They were deeply interwoven with health, social status, religious belief, and the art of presenting oneself as an appealing and vibrant individual. The effort and resources dedicated to these practices reveal just how important a captivating appearance was in their culture. Let's start with cosmetics. The most iconic Egyptian cosmetic is undoubtedly kohl, the dark eyeliner applied around the eyes. Kohl wasn't just for making eyes look larger and more striking, like the famous depictions of queens and goddesses. It had a practical purpose too. Made from ground galena, a lead sulfide mineral, kohl acted as a sun shield, protecting the eyes from the harsh glare of the desert sun, much like modern sunglasses. It also had antibacterial properties, helping to prevent eye infections, a common problem in a land with dust and flies. Applying kohl was a daily ritual, and both men and women used it, but it was women who perfected its artistic application. The lines were often extended dramatically towards the temples, creating a stylized almond shape that was both captivating and symbolic, perhaps mimicking the markings of falcons, sacred birds. Eyeshadow was also popular. Green malachite, a copper ore, was crushed and applied to the eyelids, sometimes in combination with kohl. This vibrant green pigment may have had its own protective qualities and certainly added a splash of color, enhancing the allure of the eyes. Red ochre, a natural earth pigment, was used to color lips and cheeks. It was mixed with a binder like animal fat or resin to create a paste, which was then applied to give a subtle, natural flush. The aim was not to drastically alter features, but to enhance them, creating a healthy, vital, and charming appearance. Perfumes and scented oils were essential. The arid climate of Egypt made moisturizing the skin important, and oils infused with fragrances were used extensively. Ingredients like frankincense, myrrh, cardamom, cinnamon, and various floral extracts were blended into unguents. These oils served to soften the skin, protect it from dryness, and, of course, to make the wearer smell pleasant. A captivating scent was considered an important part of personal presentation, adding an unseen layer of allure. Women often carried small alabaster or glass vessels containing these precious oils and perfumes, making their use a daily indulgence. Hair care was another elaborate aspect. As we touched on before, wigs were incredibly popular, especially among the elite. These were not just practical solutions to keep hair clean and styled in the hot climate, they were fashion statements and status symbols. Wigs could be elaborate, cascading down the shoulders, or more modest, bob-like styles. They were made from human hair, sometimes mixed with plant fibers, and styled with beeswax and resin. Maintaining a wig was a skilled job, requiring careful cleaning and restyling. For those who wore their natural hair, it was often braided and adorned with ribbons, beads, or decorative pins. Hair removal was also a common practice, with smooth skin being preferred, achieved through depilatory creams made from natural ingredients or through shaving. Jewelry was perhaps the most dazzling form of adornment. It wasn't just about showing wealth, it was deeply symbolic. Broad collars, bracelets, anklets, earrings, and finger rings were crafted from gold, silver, electrum, and a dazzling array of semi-precious stones like lapis lazuli, turquoise, carnelian, and amethyst.
These pieces were often inlaid with glass or faience, a glazed ceramic material. Each piece might carry specific protective charms or representations of deities. For instance, scarab beetles symbolized rebirth, and the Eye of Horus offered protection. The shimmering quality of gold and the vibrant colors of the stones would have caught the sunlight, making the wearer sparkle and drawing attention to their graceful movements. Mirrors were important tools for these beauty rituals. They were typically made of polished bronze or copper, sometimes with elegant handles carved in the shape of goddesses or charming female figures. These mirrors, highly reflective, allowed women to carefully apply their makeup and adjust their adornments, ensuring their appearance was always at its best. The very act of gazing into a mirror, seeing one's reflection, was part of the daily ritual of self-presentation, a moment to perfect one's captivating image. From head to toe, the Egyptian woman was adorned with purpose. Her clean, scented skin, her artistically made-up eyes, her elaborate wig, and her dazzling jewelry all contributed to a carefully constructed image of elegance, vitality, and appealing charm. These rituals were not just about superficial appearance. They were about presenting a complete picture of a well-ordered, prosperous, and spiritually aligned individual. This meticulous approach to beauty and adornment speaks volumes about a culture that valued not only inner qualities, but the outward expression of grace and a captivating presence in the world. Ancient Egypt, despite being a largely male-dominated society, saw some truly remarkable women rise to positions of immense power and influence. These queens and regents were not just figures of beauty and grace. They were formidable leaders whose captivating presence commanded respect and shaped the course of history. Their stories reveal how powerful women crafted their public image to convey both authority and an enduring, inspiring allure. Perhaps one of the most famous examples is Hatshepsut, who ruled as pharaoh in her own right during the New Kingdom, around 1479 to 1458 BC. This was an extraordinary feat, as the role of pharaoh was traditionally male.
For example, the transformation of grain into bread and beer, staples of the Egyptian diet, was primarily the domain of women. They ground the grain, kneaded the dough, baked the bread in clay ovens, and brewed the beer, often within their own homes, but also in larger estates or institutional settings. These were not just domestic chores, but crucial productive activities that fed families and supplied the wider community. Beyond farming, women were active in various crafts and industries. Textile production was almost exclusively handled by women. From spinning flax into linen threads to weaving those threads into cloth, this labor-intensive process was a cornerstone of the Egyptian economy. Women spun and wove within their homes, for temples, and in large workshops, producing clothing, sails, and other essential textiles. The quality of Egyptian linen was highly prized, and female weavers were skilled artisans whose work was fundamental to trade and daily life. Women also participated in the vibrant marketplace. They would bring their surplus produce, their handcrafted goods, or their freshly baked bread and brewed beer to sell. They engaged in buying and selling, negotiating prices, and managing transactions. Tomb paintings sometimes depict women in market scenes, showcasing their active role in commercial life. This direct involvement in trade provided many women with their own income and a degree of financial autonomy. Perhaps one of the most remarkable aspects of women's economic standing in ancient Egypt was their legal right to own, inherit, and manage property. Unlike many other ancient societies where women were considered property themselves, Egyptian women could own land, houses, and slaves. They could inherit property from their parents or husbands, and they could dispose of it as they wished. They could draw up contracts, initiate lawsuits, and even make loans. This meant that a woman could be a landowner, a business owner, or a creditor in her own right, wielding significant economic power and having independent legal standing. Records show women acting as legal witnesses, serving on juries, and even appearing in court to defend their rights. A common example is the housewife, who might manage her own household's finances, making decisions about purchases, investments, and even employment of servants. This level of financial independence allowed women to secure their future and that of their children, providing a safety net and a foundation for personal authority. Some women held more specialized professions. While high priestly roles were often reserved for men, women could serve as priestesses, particularly in cults dedicated to female deities like Hathor or Isis. These roles often involved ritual duties, singing, dancing, and administration, giving them public visibility and spiritual authority. Women also worked as musicians and dancers, performing at religious festivals, banquets, and private gatherings. These artistic professions were highly valued and often well compensated, allowing women to earn a living through their talents. Furthermore, women were employed as mourners during funeral processions, a respected and ritualized role. Some skilled women worked as perfumers, creating the elaborate oils and unguents so crucial to Egyptian daily life and religious practice. Others served as wet nurses, providing crucial care for children, sometimes even for royal offspring, which could elevate their social standing. In essence, ancient Egyptian women were not confined to a single narrow role. They were farmers, weavers, bakers, brewers, merchants, landowners, priestesses, musicians, and more. Their economic contributions were indispensable, and their legal rights provided them with an exceptional degree of autonomy and respect. This multifaceted involvement in the economy and society allowed women to build their own influence, manage their own affairs, and contribute significantly to the wealth and stability of their civilization, proving that their value and capabilities were recognized and celebrated far beyond the confines of their homes. Religion permeated every aspect of ancient Egyptian life, shaping their worldview, their daily practices, and their hopes for the afterlife. In this profoundly spiritual society, women held remarkably prominent and respected roles, not merely as passive observers, but as active participants, priestesses, and bearers of spiritual influence. Their enduring presence in religious rituals, temple administration, and household worship underscores their integral position within the sacred landscape of ancient Egypt. At the highest levels, royal women, particularly queens, often held titles that connected them directly to the divine. The god's wife of Amun was a particularly powerful religious office, especially during the New Kingdom. This title, held by queens and princesses, placed them at the pinnacle of the Amun priesthood in Thebes, giving them immense spiritual authority and significant economic resources. They performed rituals alongside male priests, led ceremonies, and dedicated offerings to the gods. Their role was not merely symbolic, it was one of active participation in the theological and political power structures of the time, demonstrating the highest level of religious influence a woman could achieve. Beyond royalty, many women served as priestesses in various cults throughout Egypt. While the highest ranks of some major temple cults were often dominated by men, women were extensively involved in the cults of female deities, such as Hathor, Isis, Mut, and Neith. Priestesses of Hathor, the goddess of love, music, dance, and joy, were especially prominent. These women played musical instruments, particularly the sistrum, a sacred rattle, and the menot, a beaded necklace used as a percussion instrument, during temple rituals, inviting the goddess's presence and blessing. Their beautiful voices, graceful movements, and musical talents were seen as essential for divine appeasement and celebration. These female religious roles were often associated with specific skills and responsibilities. Some priestesses were chantresses or singers of a particular deity, using their vocal abilities to praise the gods. Others were musicians or dancers, embodying the joyous and life-affirming aspects of certain deities. These positions were not only spiritually significant, but also provided employment and a respected social standing for women from various backgrounds. They were often educated in religious texts, hymns, and the specific rituals of their cults, demonstrating intellectual and spiritual acumen. Religious duties extended into the private sphere, where women played a central role in household worship. The home was considered a sacred space, and women were primarily responsible for maintaining its spiritual purity.
Our journey takes us back thousands of years, to a time when towering pyramids touched the sky, and the mighty Nile River breathed life into a vibrant civilization. We are talking about ancient Egypt, a civilization that flourished for over 3 millennia, from roughly 3100 BC to 30 BC. From the Old Kingdom, which spanned from approximately 2686 to 2181 BC, through the Middle Kingdom from about 2050 to 1650 BC, and into the Grand Era of the New Kingdom from around 1550 to 1070 BC, women held a place that was often quite different from their counterparts in other ancient lands. While in many cultures, women were largely hidden away, restricted, and often treated as mere property, Egyptian women enjoyed a remarkable degree of freedom and respect. They could own land, run businesses, and even represent themselves in court. But beyond these legal and social freedoms, there was another aspect that made Egyptian women particularly significant in their society and culture: their enduring image as figures of great appeal and admiration. Their presence, their appearance, and their roles were deeply woven into the fabric of Egyptian life, religion, and art, making them captivating subjects of attention and a source of artistic inspiration. The way they were depicted in art, from grand temple walls to intimate tomb paintings, tells us a great deal about the ideals of charm and grace that permeated their world. It wasn't just about what they did, it was also very much about how they were seen and represented. This perception of women as figures of profound appeal was not a simple or shallow matter. It was complex, tied to their goddesses, to the very cycles of nature, and to the continuous renewal of life itself. The Egyptians admired beauty, grace, and elegance, and these qualities were often embodied by women, both in their everyday lives and in the grand narratives of their myths and legends. Imagine walking into a temple, the walls covered with vibrant paintings. You'd see goddesses, queens, and noblewomen, all depicted with a distinct style. Slender figures, elegant postures, and often intricate hairstyles and elaborate adornments. These images were not just decorative. They conveyed a deeper meaning about the role and importance of women. They symbolized life, prosperity, and the harmonious order of the cosmos. The way artists chose to portray women speaks volumes about the qualities that were most cherished. Youthfulness was often highlighted, alongside a serene calmness that suggested inner balance and strength. The smooth, unblemished skin, the large almond-shaped eyes enhanced with dark kohl, and the often elaborate wigs or braided hair all contributed to an image of refined beauty that was both earthly and divine. This focus on appearance was not seen as frivolous. It was part of a holistic view of well-being, where physical attractiveness was intertwined with health, social status, and even spiritual purity. To present oneself well was to honor the gods and to uphold the societal ideals of order and beauty. From the earliest dynasties, Egyptian art celebrated the female form in ways that showcased its grace and aesthetic value. Statues of queens and noblewomen often portray them in serene, dignified poses, their faces calm and thoughtful. Their clothing, though often simple linen, was draped in ways that highlighted their slender figures and elegant lines. Jewelry, from broad collars to bracelets and anklets, was not just an accessory, but an integral part of their public persona, conveying status and an appreciation for craftsmanship and natural beauty. These representations were pervasive. They were in the private tombs of nobles, assuring a pleasant afterlife where beauty and companionship would endure. They were in the temples, celebrating the goddesses who brought forth life and sustenance. They were even in small everyday objects, like cosmetic spoons or mirrors, which often featured handles carved in the shape of a graceful female figure, perhaps a young woman swimming or a goddess with outstretched arms. The consistent presence of these images, spanning thousands of years, tells us that the admiration for female charm and presence was a core aspect of Egyptian culture. It was an aesthetic ideal, a religious symbol, and a social value, all rolled into one. Unlike some neighboring cultures where women might be veiled or sequestered, Egyptian women moved more freely in society, and their captivating presence was acknowledged and celebrated. They were seen as central to the family, to the continuation of the lineage, and to the very rhythm of life itself.
This deep appreciation for women's charm and their essential role in society forms the foundation of our understanding of ancient Egyptian culture. It's a culture that, while ancient, offers us surprising insights into the timeless value placed on grace, allure, and the inspiring power of the feminine spirit. We will explore how this unique perspective played out in their art, their religion, and their daily lives, uncovering the multifaceted ways in which women in ancient Egypt were not just members of society, but compelling figures who shaped their very essence. Their legacy of charm and captivating presence continues to fascinate us even today, thousands of years after their civilization first blossomed beside the Nile. When we look at ancient Egyptian art, from the grand murals on temple walls to the delicate details in tomb paintings, one thing becomes clear. The way women were portrayed was intentional and deeply symbolic. Egyptian artists had a very specific ideal for depicting women, an ideal that emphasized grace, elegance, and a captivating allure. These depictions weren't just about copying reality. They were about presenting a perfected, timeless image that spoke to cultural values. The female figures in Egyptian art, whether goddesses, queens, or ordinary noblewomen, often share striking similarities. They are typically shown with slender, youthful bodies, long limbs, and narrow waists. Their skin tone is usually lighter than that of men in paintings, a stylistic choice that some scholars believe might have symbolized their indoor lifestyle or simply been an artistic convention to distinguish genders. Their faces are often serene, with large, expressive eyes that are always enhanced with dark lines, a cosmetic practice we'll talk more about later. The posture of these figures is also important. They stand or sit with a dignified bearing, often with one foot slightly in front of the other, or with hands delicately placed. This creates a sense of movement and vitality, even in still images. The overall effect is one of quiet confidence and refined charm. Clothing, while seemingly simple, played a crucial role in enhancing this image.
This economic activity not only provided crucial income for their families, but also gave women a public presence and a sense of agency. Their ability to contribute financially and manage transactions further solidified their standing and showcased their practical intelligence. Their personal charm was not just about physical appearance, though care for appearance was common across all social strata. It was also about their character, their industriousness, their devotion to family, and their social skills. A woman who managed her household efficiently, raised respectful children, and contributed meaningfully to the family's welfare was regarded with high esteem. Her wisdom in giving advice, her kindness to neighbors, and her ability to navigate social interactions all contributed to her overall appeal and respected position within her community. Social gatherings were important, and women played a significant role in creating a pleasant atmosphere. Feasts, festivals, and celebrations were opportunities for families to come together, enjoy music, dance, and share food. Women would prepare elaborate meals, adorn themselves, and engage in conversation, showcasing their grace and sociability. These interactions helped strengthen community bonds and offered women a chance to express their personalities and charm in a wider social context. Their lively presence and ability to foster good cheer were highly valued. Even in their daily routines, Egyptian women took care of their personal presentation. Cleanliness was paramount, linked to both health and religious purity. They bathed regularly, often using scented oils to moisturize their skin and keep it supple. Simple adornments like bead necklaces or bracelets were accessible to many and added a touch of personal flair. While the lavish jewels of queens were out of reach, a simple garland of flowers or a well-made linen dress could still convey grace and attention to detail. This consistent effort in personal care, even in the absence of great wealth, reflected a cultural value placed on physical well-being and a pleasing presentation. The education of ordinary girls, while less formal than that of boys who might attend scribal schools, was intensely practical and geared towards preparing them for their roles.
They learned household management, practical crafts, and often basic numeracy to help with managing resources and market transactions. This practical intelligence, combined with their inherent strength and resilience, created women who were capable, respected, and possessed a quiet yet undeniable appeal rooted in their competence and contribution. In essence, the everyday allure of ancient Egyptian women was multifaceted. It stemmed from their vital roles as wives and mothers, their significant contributions to the family economy, their practical wisdom, and their commitment to family and community. Their lives, though grounded in daily tasks, were filled with purpose and respect. They represented the stability and continuity of Egyptian society, and their personal grace and competence were admired, embodying a beauty that ran far deeper than mere surface appearance. Their presence, both within their homes and in the wider community, was indispensable, and their charm was an integral part of their respected standing. The ancient Egyptians were renowned for their meticulous attention to personal grooming and appearance, and nowhere was this more evident than in the elaborate beauty rituals practiced by women. Far from being superficial, these practices were deeply intertwined with health, hygiene, social status, and even spiritual beliefs. The art of adornment in ancient Egypt was a sophisticated system, reflecting a culture that valued cleanliness, balance, and a pleasing presentation not just for others, but also for oneself and the gods. Cleanliness was a fundamental aspect of Egyptian life, considered essential for both physical health and religious purity. Daily bathing was a common practice, often in the Nile or using water carried to homes. After bathing, women would apply various oils and balms to their skin. These weren't just for fragrance, they served practical purposes. The dry, hot climate of Egypt made skin susceptible to drying and cracking, so these oils, often scented with lotus, myrrh, or frankincense, acted as moisturizers, protecting the skin from the harsh sun and preventing wrinkles. They also helped repel insects, providing a natural form of protection. Cosmetics were an indispensable part of a woman's daily routine, and their use was widespread across all social classes, though the quality and quantity of products varied. The most iconic Egyptian cosmetic was kohl, a dark pigment used to line the eyes. This dramatic eye makeup, typically made from galena, a lead ore, mixed with soot and various resins, was applied with small sticks, creating the distinctive almond shape seen in countless Egyptian artworks. While we often associate kohl with beauty, its primary function was practical and protective. It reduced sun glare, much like modern sunglasses, and had antiseptic properties that helped ward off eye infections, a common ailment due to flies and dust. The belief that kohl also warded off evil spirits added a spiritual dimension to its use, making it both a cosmetic and a protective amulet. Beyond kohl, women used green malachite pigment for eyeshadow, applied to the eyelids to create a vibrant look. Red ochre was crushed and mixed with fat or resin to create a paste used for coloring lips and cheeks, giving a healthy glow. Henna, derived from the henna plant, was used to dye hair, fingernails, and toenails, and sometimes even the palms of hands and soles of feet, creating intricate patterns. These dyes were not only for aesthetic appeal, but also for strengthening nails and providing a cool sensation on the skin. Hair care was another crucial aspect of ancient Egyptian beauty. Both men and women often shaved their heads, especially in the hotter months, for hygiene and to prevent lice. They would then wear elaborate wigs made from human hair or plant fibers. Wigs were not just fashion statements, they provided protection from the sun, could be easily cleaned, and offered a canvas for intricate styling. They were adorned with ribbons, jewels, and even perfumed cones made of solid scented fat, which would slowly melt throughout the day, releasing a pleasant aroma. Maintaining a clean and well-styled wig was a sign of status and careful grooming. Fragrances were highly valued. Perfumes, usually in the form of solid unguents or scented oils, were made from a variety of natural ingredients like lilies, myrrh, frankincense, and various spices. These elaborate fragrances were used not just for personal scent, but also for religious ceremonies and burial rituals. A pleasing scent was believed to be an offering to the gods and a mark of sophistication.
Most women in ancient Egyptian art are shown wearing the calasiris, a simple linen garment that could be either a long, close-fitting dress or a rectangular piece of cloth wrapped around the body. This garment, often transparent or semi-transparent, was not meant to reveal in a crude way, but rather to subtly emphasize the natural lines of the figure beneath. It suggested elegance and comfort, allowing the wearer to move with ease while still maintaining a refined appearance. The fabric itself, fine linen, spoke of purity and luxury. The way the light caught the delicate folds of the linen would have added to the visual appeal, creating a subtle play of shadow and highlight. Beyond the basic garment, adornments were key. Jewelry was abundant and intricate. Broad collars, known as yusech collars, made of many rows of beads, often in bright colors or precious metals, graced the neck and shoulders. These were not just for decoration, they often carried symbolic meanings, linking the wearer to deities or representing concepts like protection and prosperity. Bracelets, anklets, and earrings were also common, made from gold, silver, lapis lazuli, carnelian, and turquoise. Each piece was carefully crafted, demonstrating the Egyptians' skill in metallurgy and gemworking. These shimmering additions caught the light and drew attention to the wearer's movements, enhancing their presence. Hairstyles and wigs were perhaps one of the most striking elements of female presentation in Egyptian art. While some women wore their natural hair, often braided, many, especially those of higher status, wore elaborate wigs. These wigs were often made from human hair, sometimes mixed with plant fibers, and were intricately styled. The most common styles included a long, heavy tripartite wig, where two sections fell over the shoulders and one down the back, or shorter bob-like cuts. These wigs were not just fashion statements, they were practical, providing protection from the sun, and symbolic, representing cleanliness and status. The sheer effort and artistry that went into creating and wearing these wigs speak to their importance in projecting an image of refined allure. Makeup was another essential component. The famous kohl eyeliner, made from galena, was applied around the eyes, not just for aesthetic appeal, but also for protection against the bright sun and potential eye infections. This dramatic eye makeup enlarged and emphasized the eyes, making them a focal point of the face, often described as gazelle-like or doe-eyed. Malachite, a green mineral, was sometimes used as eyeshadow. Lips and cheeks could be tinted with red ochre, adding a touch of natural color. All of these cosmetic practices aim to enhance natural features, creating a vibrant and engaging countenance without being overly artificial. The overall effect of these artistic representations was to create an image of women who were not only physically appealing, but also embodied cultural ideals of order, beauty, and fertility. They were often shown alongside their husbands or children, emphasizing their role in family and lineage. In scenes of banquets and festivities, women are often depicted enjoying music, dance, and food, adding a sense of joyous celebration to the imagery. These scenes reinforce the idea that women were active participants in social life, admired for their charm and their ability to bring joy and harmony. Even in more solemn contexts, such as funeral art, women retained their elegant and captivating appearance. The deceased noblewoman would be depicted in her prime, surrounded by images of abundance and eternal youth, ensuring that her refined beauty would endure in the afterlife. The art of ancient Egypt, therefore, provides a window into a world where the female form and presence were deeply valued. It was a society that understood the power of visual appeal and consciously crafted images that conveyed both the earthly charm and the divine connection of women. These depictions were a testament to the enduring fascination with the grace and captivating spirit of the women of the Nile, a fascination that continues to resonate with us today as we gaze upon these ancient masterpieces. In ancient Egypt, religion was not just a set of beliefs, it was deeply intertwined with every aspect of life, from the rising of the sun to the flooding of the Nile. And within this rich tapestry of faith, goddesses and mortal women played incredibly significant roles. Many of the most powerful and revered deities in the Egyptian pantheon were female, embodying principles that were central to the cosmic order and the well-being of the land. These divine women were often depicted with immense grace and captivating power, serving as ideals for earthly women and sources of inspiration for all. Consider Isis, one of the most important goddesses. She was a mother, a healer, and a powerful magician, revered for her steadfastness and her life-giving abilities. Her image, often showing her with a throne on her head or wings outstretched, radiated a gentle yet formidable presence. She was the ideal wife and mother, demonstrating qualities of loyalty, nurturing, and fierce protection. Her story, particularly her role in bringing her husband Osiris back to life, symbolizes renewal and the triumph of life over death, making her a figure of immense hope and enduring appeal. Then there was Hathor, a goddess whose influence was vast and diverse. She was often seen as the goddess of the sky, love, music, dance, and joy. Her symbols included the cow and the sistrum, a musical instrument. Hathor embodied the more pleasurable and delightful aspects of life. She was the mistress of foreign lands and precious minerals, but above all, she was associated with the joy of living and the beauty of creation. Depictions of Hathor often show her with cow horns and a sun disk on her head, or simply as a beautiful woman, radiating warmth and captivating charm. She was believed to oversee birth and to offer comfort in the afterlife. Her temples, like the magnificent one at Dendera, were places of celebration and reverence, reflecting her vibrant and life-affirming nature. Other goddesses also contributed to the rich tapestry of feminine divinity. Nephthys, the sister of Isis, was often associated with mourning and protection, particularly of the dead. Ma'at was the personification of truth, justice, and cosmic order, often depicted as a woman with an ostrich feather on her head. Her presence ensured balance in the universe and in human society. Sekhmet, the lioness goddess, represented destructive power but also healing and protection, showcasing the multifaceted nature of divine women. These goddesses were not just abstract concepts, they were living forces that shaped the world. Their stories and images provided models of behavior, sources of comfort, and objects of profound admiration. The creation of these perfumes was a specialized art, often using complex techniques of infusion and distillation. The tools of beauty were often exquisite themselves. Small alabaster jars, beautifully carved wooden boxes, and intricate bronze mirrors were common fixtures in a wealthy Egyptian woman's chambers. Combs made of wood or ivory, depilatory creams, sugar-based waxes, and pumice stones for exfoliation were also part of their beauty arsenal. The mere possession of these elegant tools spoke to the importance placed on personal care and the artistry involved in their creation. Ultimately, the beauty rituals of ancient Egyptian women were a holistic practice that encompassed health, hygiene, spirituality, and social standing. Their attention to detail, their use of natural ingredients, and their understanding of both the practical and symbolic power of adornment created a culture where personal presentation was an integral part of life. These practices helped women maintain a pleasing appearance, protect themselves from the environment, and express their identity within a society that admired a sense of balance, cleanliness, and grace. The enduring appeal of ancient Egyptian women, captured in their art, is inseparable from this profound commitment to the art of adornment. The way people dress and adorn themselves can tell us a great deal about their culture, their values, and their place in society. In ancient Egypt, clothing and jewelry were far more than simple coverings or decorations. They were a language, speaking volumes about status, personal taste, religious beliefs, and the wearer's sense of self. For women, their attire and embellishments were carefully chosen to convey grace, elegance, and a respected position within their community. The fundamental garment for ancient Egyptian women was the kalasiris, a simple yet elegant dress made from linen. Linen was the primary fabric, prized for its breathability in the hot climate and its ability to be bleached to a brilliant white, symbolizing purity. The style of the kalasiris evolved over millennia, but generally it was a sheath dress that clung to the body, often held up by two shoulder straps. For working women, it might be a simpler, more robust version, allowing for freedom of movement.
For noble women and those of higher status, the linen could be finer, more sheer, and meticulously pleated, creating a sophisticated and ethereal effect. As time progressed, garments became more elaborate. Over the calasiris, women might wear a shawl or a flowing outer robe, draped and tied in various ways to create different silhouettes. These outer layers could be made from very fine, translucent linen, adding a layer of mystery and elegance. The way a woman draped her garments, the quality of the linen, and the intricacy of the pleating all contributed to her overall presentation, subtly communicating her standing and her adherence to fashionable trends. Jewelry was an essential component of ancient Egyptian women's adornment, playing a role that went beyond mere beautification. It served as a display of wealth, a marker of status, and often carried protective or symbolic meanings. Necklaces, bracelets, anklets, rings, and earrings were common. For the elite, these pieces were crafted from precious metals like gold and silver, inlaid with vibrant semi-precious stones such as lapis lazuli, a deep blue stone, turquoise, carnelian, a reddish-orange stone, and amethyst, a purple stone. These stones were not chosen randomly. Each had symbolic associations, often linked to deities or protective qualities. Collars, known as yusek collars, were particularly striking. These broad, elaborate necklaces covered the shoulders and upper chest, made up of many rows of beads or inlaid plaques. They were often intricately designed to resemble floral patterns or protective symbols, such as the Wadjet eye, representing health and protection. Wearing such a magnificent collar not only enhanced a woman's appearance, but also proclaimed her wealth and her connection to powerful protective forces. Bracelets and anklets were worn in matching sets, often featuring intricate designs of animals, plants, or hieroglyphic symbols. Rings adorned fingers and toes, sometimes featuring scarabs, beetle amulets, or seals. Earrings, though less common in earlier periods, became more fashionable over time, ranging from simple hoops to elaborate pendants. Beyond precious metals and stones, materials like faience, glass beads, and even carved wood were used to create beautiful jewelry accessible to a broader segment of the population. These more affordable pieces still carried symbolic weight and allowed women to express their personal style and adorn themselves with care. The consistency in the types of symbols used across different materials indicates a shared cultural understanding of their meaning and purpose. Head adornments were also significant. While wigs were common, as discussed in the previous part, women also wore headbands, decorative hairpins, and elaborate floral wreaths. During festivals, fresh flowers were often woven into hair or worn as garlands, adding a natural and fragrant touch to their attire. For queens and goddesses, elaborate crowns and headdresses, often featuring symbols like the cobra, uraeus, or vulture, proclaimed their divine status and royal power. In essence, the clothing and jewelry of ancient Egyptian women formed a complete visual statement. The pure, clean lines of their linen garments, enhanced by carefully chosen and symbolically rich jewelry, created an aesthetic of elegant simplicity and refined sophistication. Their style conveyed not just beauty, but also their understanding of cultural norms, their personal identity, and their connection to the spiritual world. Every bead, every pleat, and every color had a purpose, contributing to an overall presentation that was both captivating and deeply meaningful, reflecting a culture where appearance was carefully cultivated to reflect internal grace and external standing. While it's easy to imagine ancient Egyptian women solely within the domestic sphere, managing households and raising families, the reality is far more dynamic. Women played incredibly vital and varied roles in the economy and broader society, often enjoying a degree of independence and legal standing that was quite progressive for the ancient world. Their contributions extended far beyond the hearth, making them essential players in the functioning and prosperity of one of history's greatest civilizations. One of the most fundamental areas where women contributed was agriculture. Egypt's economy was agrarian, built on the fertile lands of the Nile Valley. Women frequently worked alongside men in the fields, participating in planting, harvesting, and threshing. They would gather crops, tend to livestock, and process agricultural products.
They would make daily offerings to household gods and protective deities, light incense, and perform small rituals to ensure the family's well-being and ward off evil. Statues or images of protective deities like Bes, a dwarf deity protecting women and childbirth, and Taweret, a hippopotamus goddess of childbirth and fertility, were common in homes, and women were the primary intermediaries between their families and these protective forces. Moreover, women were key figures in the crucial realm of funerary rituals. They served as professional mourners, lamenting the deceased with their cries and gestures, which was believed to help the transition of the soul into the afterlife. They also participated in the preparation of offerings for the deceased, ensuring that the deceased had everything they needed in the realm of the dead. Their involvement in these rituals was seen as vital for the successful journey of the departed and for maintaining the connection between the living and the dead. In some cases, women even held administrative roles within temple estates, managing resources, overseeing workshops, and supervising personnel. This blend of spiritual authority with practical management further illustrates the multifaceted nature of their contributions to religious institutions. They were not just ceremonial figures, but active administrators in powerful religious complexes. Through their roles as God's wives, priestesses, musicians, and household spiritual guardians, women in ancient Egypt wielded considerable influence. Their presence in religious life was an affirmation of their spiritual capabilities, their connection to the divine, and their respected place within society. Their rituals and devotion were essential for maintaining cosmic order and ensuring the prosperity of Egypt, demonstrating that their spiritual allure and power were as significant and enduring as any other aspect of their lives. As we draw to a close on our journey through the world of ancient Egyptian women, it becomes clear that their appeal was not singular or superficial. It was a complex tapestry woven from threads of power, intelligence, grace, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to their roles within society. Their legacy is one of profound influence, legal equality, and a captivating presence that continues to fascinate and inspire us thousands of years later. The enduring charm of ancient Egyptian women lies in their multifaceted contributions and the respect they commanded. From the formidable queens who ruled an empire and shaped its destiny, to the noblewomen who managed vast estates and influenced courtly life, to the ordinary women who sustained their families and communities through diligent labor and spiritual devotion, Egyptian women were forces to be reckoned with. Their stories challenge simplistic notions of women's roles in antiquity, revealing a society where women had rights, responsibilities, and freedoms that were exceptionally progressive for their time. We've seen how their allure was deeply intertwined with their intelligence and authority. Queens like Hatshepsut and Cleopatra demonstrated strategic brilliance, political acumen, and an ability to govern with strength and vision. Their power was not merely inherited, but earned through their capabilities, and their captivating presence was inseparable from their formidable minds. Their commitment to personal presentation through meticulous hygiene, elaborate beauty rituals, and elegant adornment was not just about superficial appeal. It was a holistic practice that encompassed health, religious purity, and the expression of status and identity. The use of kohl, scented oils, and finely pleated linen garments spoke to a cultural value placed on cleanliness, balance, and a dignified appearance, reflecting a deep respect for the self and for the gods. Economically, Egyptian women were remarkably empowered. Their ability to own, inherit, and manage property, to engage in trade, and to hold various professions, from weaving to brewing, underscores their financial independence and their vital contribution to the nation's prosperity. This economic agency provided a foundation for their social standing and allowed them to shape their own destinies and secure the futures of their families. Spiritually, women held significant roles, from the gods' wives of Amun to priestesses of powerful deities and as guardians of household altars. Their active participation in religious ceremonies, their musical talents, and their devotion were considered essential for maintaining cosmic order and ensuring divine favor. This spiritual influence gave them public visibility and profound respect, placing them at the heart of their culture's most sacred practices.
The image of the ancient Egyptian woman that emerges is one of strength and grace, competence and charm, independence and devotion. They were mothers, wives, rulers, priestesses, artisans, and businesswomen, each contributing uniquely to the vibrant tapestry of their society. Their society recognized their inherent worth and provided avenues for them to excel and exert influence in almost every sphere of life. The fascination with ancient Egyptian women endures because their stories resonate with universal themes of power, identity, beauty, and resilience. They stand as a testament to what women can achieve when afforded respect and opportunity. Their legacy reminds us that true allure comes from a harmonious blend of internal qualities, intelligence, character, and spirit, combined with a dignified presentation and a meaningful contribution to the world around them. The ancient Egyptian woman, in all her varied forms, remains an eternally captivating figure, a symbol of enduring grace and profound influence in the annals of human history.